Yo, what's going on everyone? LogicDawg here, and today we're taking a look at the Cycle Frontier, and we're going to be comparing it to Escape from Tarkov. Why, you might ask? Well, stick around and you'll find out. So first thing we're going to talk about is the similarities between the two. So with Escape from Tarkov and the Cycle Frontier, you extract in both of them. So meaning you have to go to a certain point with your gear and extract. Second, you loot. You loot everything that's around. You're looking for items for crafting, for traders, for any kind of quests or anything like that, or tasks you might have. You also lose everything that you have if you die. So if you have a backpack, your helmet, your armor, your gear, your loot, everything on you, besides what's in your secured container, you lose. You also have insurance. Now with Cycle Frontier, it works a little different with insurance, but I'll go into that in a little more detail. You also have traders and a home hub or a hideout. So those are the main similarities. Now, as far as some differences, so with the Cycle Frontier, you load into an active map. It's not actually like an instance where it is from Escape from Tarkov, where you pick shoreline, you get found with a certain, 8 or 9 players, and then you load into the map, and then once the raid is done in 45 minutes, it closes that instance. No, this map is continuously open and people just load into it. So that being said, when it comes to looting, when you get to a certain area and you loot that area, if you leave and no one else enters that area for 15 minutes, the loot refreshes. So the looting works a little different. Also, to start off with, you get a generator that gives you every day, that gives you your gear. It gives you some armor, gives you some credits sometimes, gives you some crafting material, just random stuff. It's pretty much equivalent to the scav case, but it's one of the first upgrades you get. Healing is just a single health bar. It's not like Escape from Tarkov where you have to heal certain limbs or anything. It's just one single health bar, and you have low meds, medium meds, big meds, and that's it. And the difference being that it just takes longer to use those meds. So, and also they have this like mining collecting herbs mechanic, where you kind of use mining to collect like nickel or whatever for certain crafts, and also herbs for traders and all that good stuff. So what do I like about it? Well, first, the loading times are really quick. You literally go to deploy, you're in your drop pod, you land, you're in the game. It's not like Escape from Tarkov where it's got to spend all that time trying to find players. So you load right into the map really fast. The game runs really smooth. There isn't a whole lot of stutters or anything like that. There are some bugs, obviously. It is in closed beta 2, but I mean, Escape from Tarkov is still in beta 2 as well. So it runs pretty smooth though. There's no complaints there. It is less punishing. So what I mean by that is insurance works a little different, where you can actually insure your loadout if you don't get anything back, where you get a certain amount of credits back, which is kind of a nice touch. And then also, you can choose to have your insurance picked up. Like if your gear doesn't get picked up, you can get your insurance back that way, like Escape from Tarkov does. You also, with the single health bar, it's not like people can shoot out your legs and then you're slowed or anything like that. You just, get in a gunfight, you shoot each other. It's still pretty quick. Like the two games are, gunfights are pretty quick, but it's a little easier to manage like your meds and that kind of thing. There's also no kind of survival mechanic. So you don't have to worry about drinking or food. Not that that's a huge deal in Escape from Tarkov, but sometimes when you lose your stomach or something, then you don't have as much hydration. Getting to an extract can be a little problematic, but you don't have that issue in this game. They also have this like puzzle mechanic, which is kind of cool. So in an area, there's like these power cores that you pick up, and after you drop like a certain amount of power cores in that area, you'll see like there might be like 3 holders, 4, and you go and find them all and you bring them there. It unlocks like this big door, and that big door usually has really good loot in it. So it's kind of a cool way to make you stick around in the area and solve the puzzles to try and get that better loot. So that's really cool. And also the game is free to play, so that's a big bonus. Obviously they'll have some microtransactions in there somehow, but as far as like being able to jump in and play the game without spending any money in the beta, it's very possible. We'll see how it comes out later on. I know they're going to have their like Fortuna pass, so we'll see what that really involves. But that's a nice touch. So then, you know, it's no pressure when you buy it, or, you know, Escape from Tarkov, you buy it and you find out you hate it or whatever. It's no pressure, it's just free to play, so that's cool. So some dislikes. Since you load into an active map, people can actually see your drop pod coming down. I haven't had it too much in beta 2. Beta 1, I had times where like people would snipe me out, like when I landed, or be there so quickly once I landed, and that really kind of sucked. But again, you know, they could have made improvements to that systems. It's not quite as bad, but I just, that kind of I don't like. Extracting takes a little longer, and it's obvious when you're extracting. Now, I know some extracts in Escape from Tarkov do take a while, so I'm not talking about those ones, but as far as like every extract, like the majority of them in Escape from Tarkov, this one, a ship comes and you can see the ship, and other people can see the ship coming, and it's got to come and it's got to land, and then once it lands, it's got to take off, and that whole process takes probably like 30 seconds or so, but it's just a lot of noise. It's really obvious, but so it makes that a little more nerve-wracking. Again, with the healing, there's no real realism with the healing. Again, they are a sci-fi game, so you know, it makes sense, but at the same time, I really like that about Escape from Tarkov. I like having to, you know, have the broken legs, you fall too high, you're bleeding, and all that. That's really cool to me. And then also, it's not survival based, so you really could just stay out there as long as you want to and get as much loot as you want, doing whatever, and just, you're more risking the fact that if you die and lose it all, but there's no real limit to how long you can do it. But yeah, I think overall Cycle Frontier offers like this genre of something new and exciting, and it's also free to play. So any of your friends that might have not wanted to play Escape from Tarkov, they weren't sure they were going to like it, could always try this game out and see what they think. And I do think that it won't like replace Escape from Tarkov or anything. I just think it's going to be a nice way for there to be an alternative. But I think it's fans from Escape from Tarkov may want to try Cycle Frontier, just like maybe if you played Escape from Tarkov and it wasn't for you, you might like this a little more. It's still like the same kind of concepts, and it's kind of cool. So it will be exciting to see how the game changes and develops over the next few months. But otherwise, yeah, I think it's got a lot of potential. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Don't forget, subscribe if you want more information on different games. I'll also be putting out more content later on, so make sure to stay tuned for that. And then also, if you could give me a like, I appreciate it. I always appreciate all the feedback I get from you guys. But yeah, otherwise, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.